Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The day has been bestowed upon us. We are here with the Dirt Revival Tour. We are no longer in the mini-series. We are no longer just playing for a pre-season trophy. We are here. It is big. It is electric. As we have the Dirt Revival Tour Season 1 opener, we are here at beautiful Volusia Speedway Park here tonight. As we look, 72 degrees in the air. It is humid. It is down here in Florida, so you know it is a humid night here tonight. Cloudy with the winds blowing at 18 miles an hour. As we see Carson Jenkins there in the background, he will be leading us off to start our qualifying. Key takeaways here for tonight. You know him, the mini-series champion, Jesse Newsome. Can he continue his championship form here tonight? Hayden Tollefson, the young king, the young prodigy. He always has a habit of asserting his dominance early into a race session. Can he do that here tonight, except maybe transition it to a win here? And can James Murphy, we see him a lot in those early cautions, getting collected, maybe sending it just a tad too hard into that opening corner. Can he stay out of trouble here tonight? Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mac Nelson. The people on the internet call me Arsenal, and you are tuned in to Arsenal TV, and more importantly, you are tuned in to the Dirt Revival Tour. As we finally get out here for qualifying, all eyes on Jesse Newsome. He is your defending champ. Although it is a mini-series, it is still a championship nonetheless in that number 11 coast-to-coast Sim Sports Super Late model. As he is going to go fast, but not quite fast enough for provisional pole yet. Dee's Price, who I was hearing rumbles in the community that he was the one to watch this season. He runs a 15.309, good enough for P4. Brandon Schatz, owner of Midwest Sim Sports, he is going to come in at a 15.71, although it does have him in the back. I wonder if he maybe hit a wall or something during his qualifying run. So your top four as it sits: Carson Jenkins, Dylan Jones, Jesse Newsome, and Dees Price. As we now prepare for Logan Johnson, Zach Weisenfla, Samuel Lawson to go out. There should be a fourth person in their qualifying group. I'm not entirely sure who that is. However, we are on board with Logan Johnson as he is going to start his first timed lap. In that number 1 super late model representing Midwest Sim Sports. So while we're sitting here, you know, watching these proficient, top echelon, I mean elite tier drivers qualify for this session here tonight, I want to go over the format because it's going to be a little different than what we saw in the mini-series. So for anybody watching, for anybody just casually watching, you might want to turn this up. So I don't have a graphic made for it yet. We will see that introduced next week. I apologize for that. But we have qualifying, which you're watching right now. 4 at a time go out. If you were curious, going to kind of break kayfabe here. If you're curious on how these qualifying groups are determined, it is whoever enters the server first. It is strictly first come, first serve. Your name appears on a list in the order that you joined. And that is exactly how they are shipping it out here at DRT. So, for that, after qualifying is done, we will move on to heats, which is, you know, obvious. As Hayden Tollefson out here now. He is qualifying. So the heats, there are going to be 6 heats instead of 4. We usually did, actually we did 3 in the mini-series, but it's going to be 6 heats this time. 10 laps, 10 cars. So same amount of laps as we got cars here. 10 cars, only the top 2, not even all 3 positions on the podium. Top 2 are going to make it to the race straight out of the heat. They are going to qualify for the main event here tonight at Volusia. So top 2 from the heats, and then we have 2 B mains. Those are each 12 laps. And obviously, you know, normal LCQ, you know, normal B main stuff there. You finish second or you finish third in heat number 1, you'll get pole for the LCQ. You know how that works. So it's going to be 2 B mains, 12 laps each. Top 4 from those are going to advance to the feature. So it is going to be a 60-lap feature here tonight, folks. A 60-lap feature. We're going to see 20 cars start here tonight. As we see Brady Cornett as he runs a 15.58 in that number 2 super late model. He was making moves at the championship finale for the mini-series. He was making a lot of moves as he was the biggest mover of the night, if I'm not mistaken. But I digress. 60-lap feature tonight, ladies and gentlemen. 20 cars are going to start. $50 up to grab here tonight. So this is no longer just bragging rights. This is no longer for just a championship win. We've got real money being laid down here tonight, as that is something I'm sure everybody in the DRT camp and everybody participating here tonight in the event feels strongly about. They want to go home with some cash in their pockets. So that is going to be how they run things here tonight, as we see Robbie Buchanan Jr. representing EJR. He's taken a shot at his first qualifying lap here. And that is going to be good enough for P5. Woo! 15.237 out of the number 31 machine. As we get a little bit of technical difficulty on the behalf of Robbie Buchanan Jr. Hopefully that doesn't stay. But yeah, 15.5 even on his second lap. Not going to put him in any higher of a position. Tyson Banks running a 15.61. As now we get ready to see Colton Jordan going out, along with Troy DeShong, Michael Coate, and Brandon Jones. Colton Jordan first one out, so that's who we will ride on board with for this one. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the number 18 Super Late Model JR Setup Shop driver Colton Jordan. And Colton Jordan, that is going to be good enough for P15. That is a 15.466 that he ran. Brandon Jones not doing too hot with a 15.82. That is going to be good enough for P22. Justin Byram here representing Coast to Coast Sim Sports. As we get a look at Justin Byram here coming across to take his first time to lap in that number 19 Super Late Model. Get an up close look at that. And if you're not familiar with the lore around dirt revival tour, I apologize. They held a contest for the best looking car this week in their Discord. And Justin Byram submitted his, and if I'm not mistaken, I think it got maybe second place or third place. A lot of people seeming to really like that number 19 C2C machine. As James Murphy, we talked about him at the top of the show. He puts up a 15.41. That is going to be good enough for P13 currently. The Twisted Speed driver making his way into the top 15. Good spot for anybody wanting to maybe have a chance to make it out of these heats. As next group's going to be headed by Will Bennett. He's going to go out there in the 22 super late model. Crisp and clean there on the livery. A matte black look for the Blackjack sponsored driver. As he, unless I am sadly mistaken, he is the only driver going out in his group right now. As Will Bennett's going to post a P33 time. Actually, I take that back. Casey Borgmeyer is out there. The SDK loves to fool me on that. And Casey Borgmeyer, what a livery there in the number 10 super late model with that chrome number done to absolutely perfection. What an outstanding looking wrap on that late model. As he is going to run a P27 with a 16014. We'll see if this time betters any. It is not going to. As that is a 16139 for Casey Borgmeyer. Ian Lindell running a 1581. That's going to be good enough for P34. Blake Culver, Jacob Sexton, Bradley Brown going out as well. Jarrett Tannehill also. As we get our camera set up to watch Blake Culver, the Fusion setup shop driver. That is another good-looking livery. I will say it. I love dirt racing more than the next guy. Just as much as the next guy, I should say. I'm not a huge fan of it, as I like road and, oval more. But I must say, when it comes to making liveries on the car, I don't think anybody does it better than the dirt community. The dirt racing community comes through with the heat when it comes to wrapping their race cars. As we see, Jacob Sexton's going to run a 15.74. That is going to be good enough for P31. Jared Tannehill running a 15.93. 15.88 for the driver we were just talking about, Blake Culver. As the track has definitely been worn in now, these drivers struggling to pick up on any grip with this track here tonight. K-Dub, Kevin Walker going out with Tyler Bickford, Preston Shepard, and Diesel Jones. What a name. What a name. Diesel Jones. That is intimidation factor alone. Being named Diesel Jones strikes fear into everybody out on the racetrack, it seems. So, in normal fashion, whoever leads it off, that is who we will ride with. That goes to the Vortex Sim Sports driver, Kevin Walker. In that number 24 ice blue super late model. He's going to come around for his first timed lap. As we see him hugging the bottom side here, trying to get as good of a time as he can out of that worked-in track. Coming around 3 and 4. His first time is going to be not bad at all for the Vortex driver, K-Dub, with a 15.547. That is good enough for P19. Diesel Jones just a little bit behind him with a 15.57. Tyler Bickford running a 15.68. That is going to be good enough for P30 as Diesel Jones is going to take that by a hundredth of a second with a 15.54. So Diesel Jones going to be in P19 as these drivers do their cooldown lap, and that is going to cap off qualifying. So as it stands, your top 5 for qualifying here tonight is going to be Carson Jenkins, Hayden Tullison, Logan Johnson, Dylan Jones, and Robbie Buchanan Jr. As we see the K-Dub love in the chat, we always see it. I encourage you to cheer on your favorite drivers in the chat. I appreciate all you guys stopping out, stopping by, showing up, showing out. As I wanted to take time to thank our sponsors for this season. Of course, I've said it a million times. I'll say it a million more because we cannot be, thankful enough for these guys who are sponsoring the season, helping out with the prize pool, really making everything come together here so we can deliver you the Dirt Revival Tour here on Arsenal TV. Elite Signs and Graphics out of Zanesville, Ohio. You see their number right there. Call them for all your graphics and signage needs. More Metalworks, Welding and Fabrication. You know what to do. They've been a long-time supporter of the DRT. Go to them for any of your fab or welding wishes or needs. Willie T Performance, owned by William Thayer, the driver in the DRT right now. You see his name there. He qualified P17. Coast to Coast Sim Sports, obviously a lot of drivers in here repping that C2C. Jesse Newsom, the mini series champion Coast to Coast driver, along with Justin Byram, Danny Miles, I believe, just to name a few. And so with that, that is going to conclude our qualifying here at virtual Volusia Speedway Park. It's going to be rough. It's going to be crazy. As we bring up that race info screen again, temperature has not changed. The wind has not changed. So these drivers are going to be experiencing the exact same thing here for their heat races as they did in the practice and qualifying. And you might have seen this flyer going around the Facebook groups, the social networks. Just wanted to let you guys know that we do have a $650 prize pot and growing here at the Dirt Revival Tour. There at the bottom left of that graphic, you can see the schedule. Where actually, that is the wrong graphic. I apologize. The schedule is set in stone, so I will read that off to you guys as soon as I find it, which should be here somewhere. If not, then I just lied to you guys and made myself look like an absolute fool. Now would be a great time for them to finish the qualifying and head on to heat race number 1. So I can maybe forget that I messed this up. Ah, here we go. Heat race number 1. I will get you guys that schedule at some point in tonight's broadcast, I promise. So, heat race number 1, we've got 10 laps, we've got 10 cars, only 2 drivers are making it out of each of these 6 heats here tonight. And we'll go ahead and show you the grid for tonight's heat number 1, the first heat, the inaugural heat of the Dirt Revival Tour. Opening round here, season number 1. As we have Preston Shepard in P9. Troy DeShong is going to be in P8 with Casey Borgmeyer on his inside in that number 10 super late model. Tyson Banks out of Factory 11 Sim Sports is going to be in P6. Samuel Lawson in P5. Colton Jordan, who finished third in the Mini Series Championship. The JR Setup Shop driver is going to be in P4, with Brandon Bolton out of Walton, Kentucky, starting inside him. P2 is going to be Scott Merrick, and your pole sitter for tonight's race, for tonight's heat race number 1, the coast-to-coast driver, Carson Jenkins, in that 62 super late model. As we do see Carson Jenkins having a little bit of a network issue there. Really breaks the immersion when you're trying to watch. Unfortunate. Why can't we live in a world where the internet is perfect? As I don't know if you guys are seeing what I'm seeing, but I see 3 number 62 super late models. I'm sure Trading Paints is spazzing. Unless they're actually doing that. But yeah, I'll try to keep this. I'll try to keep this as straight as I can for you guys. But as of right now, we've got a 3-headed monster of Carson Jenkins is leading heat race number 1. They say strength is in numbers. I don't know what that means in dirt racing, but here we go. Carson Jenkins, the real Carson Jenkins, with the button as we head into heat race number 1. Brandon Bolton looking to get up into the fray here early, as he is going to be taking that high side. One of the Carson Jenkins, I believe that is Colton Jordan, is going to be behind him. He's going to get slowed up a little bit. Scott Merrick here in the P2 number 62 Carson Jenkins clone car, as he is going to be holding up the other Carson Jenkins, Colton Jordan here, as Brandon Bolton got passed by the other Carson Jenkins. That's Colton Jordan. The real Carson Jenkins has posted a 15.52. That is good enough for the fastest lap of this heat. Tyson Banks looking to make a move on Brandon Bolton, with Samuel Lawson not too far behind him. The Midwest Sim Sports driver trying to make things happen, as the Scott Merrick camp here in that Carson Jenkins wrap. He is going to be P2 with a 15.43. That's going to be good enough for a purple lap here. Carson Jenkins is going to be, the real Carson Jenkins is going to be crossing the line. 5 laps to go here in heat race number 1. Carson Jenkins looking real good, as he has grown out to a 0.65 second lead. That is a 0.6 of a second lead over Scott Merrick and Colton Jordan. Preston Shepard and Troy DeShong, along with Casey Borgmeyer, unfortunately falling a little bit off the pace. As Carson Jenkins here, I'm going to have to be a little conservative with my voice to the first half of the broadcast here tonight, folks. I apologize for that, but 6 heats, I really need to pace myself. I really need to try not to make my voice scratchy before we even get to the B mains. As Carson Jenkins is going to be taking the white flag here. He comes around turn number 3 and 4. He will be finishing this heat on top, in front. That is a 15.619 to end off that heat. So the 2 advancing out of heat race number 1 is going to be Carson Jenkins and Scott Merrick. As we get ready for heat race number 2. We've got some heavy hitters in this heat here tonight. Heat race number 2. This might go down as one of the heat races of all time. Jarrett Tannehill is going to start in the back, P number 9. Michael Coate is going to be in PA, representing Shift Happens Racing. Brandon Schatz, the owner of Midwest Sim Sports, he's going to be in P7. James Starry is going to be on the outside of row number 3 with Justin Byram, the Coast to Coast Sim Sports driver, on his inside. Willie T, that is the Willie T and Willie T Performance. He is going to be P4 with the Twisted Speed driver Daryl Bass in P3. Jesse Newsom, your mini-series champion, is going to be in P2, and Hayden Tullison, the only guy that could hold a candle to him all season, is going to be starting one position in front of him in P1 in that number 327 Midwest Sim Sports Super Late model. So guys, you are getting a main event fight here early in the heats, as Hayden Tullison and Jesse Newsom gotta be the favorites here to advance. I mean, these were two absolute titans for the mini-series all season long. Every week out of the 4 weeks, it was one of them two. One of them two took the crown. Tonight, will we be faced with a similar story? As we have Hayden Tullison, who will have the button. As he will control the tempo. He will set the pace. Will he choose to do it early? As soon as the pace truck even begins to turn, he is off and away. Daryl Bass with an absolute heater into the first corner. I didn't think he was going to be able to stop in time to make the corner. He is being very aggressive on the championship driver, Jesse Newsom. He is not scared of nothing. As Jesse Newsom in second place, he is holding that well, as what we have seen a lot of times in the DRT miniseries. Hayden Tullison just gets out to this big lead as he watches the rest of the drivers fight, but Jesse Newsom is not letting him go so easy. It might just be a heat race, but you know these two want to win. As these two drivers going. They're going band for band here. Running almost identical lap times. I mean, that is a 400th of a second difference between these two drivers that past lap. Hayden Tullison choosing to run the top. Jesse Newsom with a little lower down on the track for his line. Hayden Tullison's going to have a considerably better lap there as he runs almost a 10th faster. As Jesse Newsom is looking to close in. We are 3 to go here. Jesse Newsom did run just a tiny bit faster, as it looks like that track is wearing in well, making for some good racing. 2 laps to go. Jesse Newsom, 100th faster, sorry. But I don't think it's going to be enough, as the Midwest Sim Sports driver, Hayden Tullison, is going to take the white flag. He is going to beat the wall down just a tad bit with that right rear. But bringing it home uncontested is Hayden Tullison, as Jesse Newsom gets that second spot. He is going to advance. So we will be seeing the likes of Daryl Bass, Willie T, in the LCQ. Now for heat race number 3, we've got Kyle Davis, the Factory 11 Sim Sports driver. He is going to be in the back with Jason Wilson, Will Bennett taking up row number 4. Brandon Jones and Brady Cornett are going to be in row number 3. With Kane Williams in P4, James Murphy in P3, Mason Cassidy in P2 with your pole sitter for heat race number 3, Logan Johnson. Also representing Midwest Sim Sports. A lot of Midwest here in this race. Can we see a Midwest lockout for the 1 and 2? Qualifying for the feature. As we get set to go green here, Logan Johnson has the button. Never mind, we're going one more lap. Oh, I see the pace truck now. I'm so sorry. I didn't see the pace truck in front of him, so I thought the pace truck was already off. I apologize for that. We'll be going one more time around this fantastic and beautiful virtual Volusia Speedway park. It's a park. I don't know why they'd keep alligators in a park, but who knows? Florida mans are crazy. Logan Johnson, number 92, he says to everybody else, let's leave, and he is cooking. As Mason Cassidy and James Murphy are going to make a 3 wide lap number 1. James Murphy trying to take that bottom line. He is going to hit the wall. That's going to cost him heavily. Logan Johnson here, pole sitter, lost one of those positions out to Mason Cassidy in that number 17 super late model. Now Kane Williams in that number 22, almost like a double bubble or Miami Vice looking scheme. He is getting passed by James Murphy. Again, James Murphy with some real pace down there on that bottom side, as Mason Cassidy is going to be running a purple lap. Never mind that it's going to be Will Bennett in P6. He is going to run the purple lap with a 15.84. As we look back up front, Mason Cassidy kind of putting the leash on the dogs and letting them go. He is up to 0.6 of a second in front of Logan Johnson. We're only 6 laps in. That is an average of a 10th per lap. And around a dirt track, that's pretty reasonable time, as Logan Johnson and James Murphy are getting into it for P2, that last transfer spot. But don't sleep on Kane Williams. He just ran purple, and he is flying. As there's going to be contact between James Murphy and Logan Johnson, through goes Williams, as he is going to try to take that spot from both of those drivers. Coming up on 2 to go next time by. They're 3 wide in the corner. Kane Williams overdrives the car just a tad bit. That's going to be Logan Johnson trying to get the switch back on the 65 of James Murphy. Logan Johnson, they're 3 wide again. Round and round they go. James Murphy holding on to everything he has. White flag in the air, and there's going to be a big contact between those two drivers. Kane Williams is going to have damage, but he's going to get through it. The white flag was taken. This race is official. Mason Cassidy's going to win it, but in an even more compelling story, Kane Williams is going to get through. Heist of the century. He makes it into the feature. That is going to be LCQ lives for James Murphy and Logan Johnson, as we have some insane racing going on in just the heats of tonight's season opener. What an absolute finish from those drivers, especially Kane Williams, the ultimate opportunist. You would think his name was Edge. As we move on to heat race number 4, if I'm not mistaken, a new face around here. Bradley Brown, he is going to be starting P9. Ian Lindell representing Coast to Coast Sim Sports in P8 with Justin Sick in P7. Jonathan Snyder representing Shift Happens Racing. He is going to be in P6 with Tyler Bickford in P5. P4 is going to be Diesel Jones with Nate Wimhoff on his inside of road number 2. He is going to be P3. Zach Weisenflow representing Speed Ranch is going to be in P2 with your pole sitter for tonight's heat race number 4. Midwest Sim Sports driver Dylan Jones in the number 22 Super Late model. You can always recognize Dylan Jones because he has the picture of cowboy hat Lando Norris as his SDK profile picture. It's class, really. It is absolutely class. Before we get started here, real quick, I just want to give you guys a shout out for supporting in the stream. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully it's a good show, and hopefully it gets nothing but better as Dylan Jones is going to lead the pack away. We are heat racing once again here in Volusia. As that is going to be Nate Wimhoff trying to keep his spot over Zach Weisenflow. Zach, that Speed Ranch driver, he is going to be looking to lay down a good corner here, but don't sleep on Diesel Jones. Storming, splitting the Red Seas, making it 3 wide, almost 4 wide. As he is going to run a purple lap, he is going to be running a 15.96. As we expand to get a little bit more of an outside view here, Diesel Jones, that is going to be big contact. That is going to be Nate Wimhoff, who has lost a tire. Jonathan Snyder gets involved as well. Zach Weisenflow also down there in the back. As we are yellow here in Volusia. As we get ready to line this back up. I'm going to step away for one moment, but you will see all the action here on Arsenal TV. This is heat race number 4 of the Dirt Revival Tour. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with Dirt Revival Tour action. As we're going to ride on board with the 24 of Zach Weisenflow here for this restart. He is the only driver here tonight who has agreed to our helmet cam, sponsored by Arsenal TV, which is conveniently the channel you're watching this broadcast on. So go ahead and hit that follow button for more racing action in the future. 8:30 EST every Tuesday for the next 10 Tuesdays. You will be seeing these drivers right here in the Dirt Revival Tour. Here we go. As we see Tyler Bickford trying to make a move on Zach Weisenflow. That is not going to work. These drivers are getting chippy. That is Justin Sick in the number 2 super late model. Number 19 is his league assigned number. We are white flag. Zach Weisenflow in a comfortable and commanding position here to take that final transfer spot, but Justin Sick had to try it. Dylan Jones is going to be your heat race winner, running a purple lap there, 15.906, with Zach Weisenflow finishing in that number 2 spot. He will transfer to the feature. Heat race number 5 coming up. We will go ahead and get that on screen for you here. Kenneth Davis is going to be in the back representing 3D Racing. Blake Culver is going to be in P8 with Jacob Sexton inside him. Whoa, pause. In row number 4, Aaron Bowman in P6 with Zach Gold on his inside, representing Midwest Sim Sports in that number 9 super late model. Row number 2, Kevin Walker, K-Dub, representing Vortex Sim Sports in P4. Jeffrey Hyatt on the inside in row number 2. He's going to start P3. Dees Price, part of Twisted Speed Shop. He is going to be in P2. And your pole sitter for heat race number 5 is going to be Robbie Buchanan Jr. in that number 31 super late model, representing EJR. As we will go one more time, and then the drivers will have the green flag for 10 laps. Our penultimate heat here in the inaugural DRT round. And remember, we've got 2 B mains coming up after this, in which I believe it is 4 that will make it out of those. So if your favorite driver doesn't qualify here, they are still taking the track at least one more time tonight in the B mains to try to make their way into the feature. Robbie Buchanan driving like he stole something, as he is already out to a half-second lead over Dees Price. Jeffrey Hyatt trying to go somewhere, but it looks like Zach Gold is the one that's actually making a move, as he is going to overtake that P3 spot, already up 2 spots, as he has dropped back down 2 spots. As Dees Price has ran the quickest lap by just 2, count them, 2 thousandths of a second. Robbie Buchanan Jr. driving a perfect heat, as he has a little bit of a connection issue. That is going to actually allow for Dees Price to catch up a little bit. Funny how that works. And I am just getting told in my earpiece that I was indeed correct. 4 drivers from each of the B mains will make the feature. So with that being said, we are coming up on 4 laps to go here. As Dees Price and Robbie Buchanan Jr. are looking like they are going to comfortably take those 2 transfer spots into the feature for tonight. As Robbie Buchanan Jr., Dees Price running almost identical laps Their best laps are almost identical as well. Just a couple hundredths off. As Robbie Buchanan is going to take the white flag, Jeffrey Hyatt looking to get just a little bit of a better spot going into that B main. As K-Dub is going to be your best of the rest here, as Robbie Buchanan, D's Price are going to be your two entrants into the feature for tonight, coming out of heat race number 5. As I guess I take it back, we're only doing 5 heats tonight, ladies and gentlemen, as we are ridding up for a C main right now. I'm sorry, I was being told that there was 6 heats all night. Oh, wait, wait. Man, I'm so sorry, guys. Okay, yeah, heat race number 6 yielded no results. I guess it makes sense. But here we go. Your starting grid for the first B main of the night. Sorry, guys, that kind of just threw me for a loop. Jason Wilson in P17, Preston Shepard P16, Nate Wimhoff on the inside of him. Row number 7 is going to be Jarrett Tannehill and Jeffrey Hyatt. Logan Johnson and Casey Borgmeyer. The Midwest Sim Sports lockout on row number 6 there. Diesel Jones in P10, Brandon Schatz in P9, Blake Culver at a Fusion Setup Shop. He's going to be in the 8th spot with Kyle Davis in that 024 machine. He is going to be in P7. Tyson Banks is going to be 1 spot in front of him and his teammate. He is going to be in P6 with Ian Lindell in P5 representing Coast to Coast. Daryl Bass, the Twisted Speed driver. He is going to be in P4 with Kevin Walker, better known as K-Dub, in P3. Brady Cornett in P2 with your pole sitter for the consolation. The first of the 2 consolations, I should say. Colton Jordan, your JR Setup Shop driver here in the number 18 machine. As I am also being told in my earpiece as well, we are taking 5 here, ladies and gentlemen. We are taking 5 out of these B mains. Seems like the format had to get flip-flopped around on the spot, but Colton Jordan is going to lead the pack away. So we see it here. Colton Jordan in a fantastic spot, but Kevin Walker looking to drive as we go yellow. It looks like Diesel Jones and Logan Johnson, Jarrett Tannehill are going to be the drivers involved in that. Let's take another look. Oh, just a big collection. I mean, that's almost half the field. 5 or 6 cars there. Just getting absolutely collected. That is not what you want to see. As we bring it back to the front, Colton Jordan. It seems like the yellows always come out, and this happened in the mini-series. If anybody was paying deep attention, it always seemed like when Colton Jordan had those moments where he was leading the features in the miniseries, those yellow flags would come out, and it seems like that curse is following him here into the big season. And as the sun drops and we get later into the night here, we'll pull up the race info for you again. Temperature is dropping a little bit along with the wind, although not much at all. The wind has indeed dropped. The temperature dropping, so a little cooler air temperature. Those cars are going to be a little bit tighter. So we will see, will it allow these drivers who prefer, you know, a loose oversteer setup, will it allow them to maybe grip up and bite? Colton Jordan almost running into the back of the official iRacing pace truck there. As I hear more carnage, I believe, in the back. Not sure if we're going to go yellow for that. I believe that was Jeffrey Hyatt and Diesel Jones. Diesel Jones has called it a night. That is going to be his night over and done with. Colton Jordan and that number 18 super late model running purple as he runs a 15.98. K-Dub right behind him as he is currently safe, but Tyson Banks here in the number 747. He has everything to lose as he is the last transferee here. We'll focus on him as he is the cutoff. As we have Daryl Bass trying to take it around the outside there. Almost an incredible move from the Twisted Speed driver there. As he is going to be looking to make some sort of play here. As it actually credits him with being in 5th place now. Not entirely sure what happened as it was Tyson Banks, but... Okay, now Daryl Bass is in P5. As everybody's starting to feed the bottom now, Daryl Bass, he might have clipped his front left on that pit entry marker. As Brandon Schatz in that number 34 super late model, he's looking to make a move. He is looking to make something happen here as we are white flag. It's everything to race for. Brandon Schatz trying to make the pass on Daryl Bass. He gets it done. Last lap. Daryl Bass not going to let it go. But that is going to be Nate Wimhoff in an absolute heist. He is going to pull that off. As we go back and take a look, if we can... Oh, we can't. They've advanced it to the next B main. That was something of legends. Nate Wimhoff. Absolutely steals the show there and qualifies for the feature in the last corner. Holy moly, that was insane. Okay, as we gear up for the next consolation here, our last one of the night, our last race before the feature, we've got Kenneth Davis starting in P18 for 3DR, Bradley Brown in P17, Michael Coate P16, Zach Gold in P15, James Murphy, he's got a long way to go. After that heat race turmoil, he is in P14. Troy DeShong, P13. Jonathan Snyder in P12. Justin Byram representing Coast to Coast in P11. Jacob Sexton in P10. On the inside of him in row number 5 is going to be Brandon Jones. Samuel Lawson in P8 with Bicky. Tyler Bickford in P7. I didn't like how that nickname sounded. I'm never calling him that again. I apologize. P6 is going to be Willie T. I do like that nickname. P5, Aaron Bowman. Will Bennett in P4. Brandon Bolton, the Kentucky driver, in P3. Justin Sick, representing Midwest Sim Sports, in P2. And your pole sitter for the final consolation here in the opening round at Volusia, James Starry. Here we go, guys. Remember, top 5 here, not top 4. As James Starry leads them around one more time. As we get ready here for the last B main of the night. Just a reminder, folks, I will step away from the microphone during the 5-minute warm-up. Catch my breath, catch up, maybe get a glass of water before we go all in and we lock in for the feature here tonight. 60 laps. Volusia Speedway. 5 of these drivers will make their way in, sneaking in the door as it's closing. James Starry with an unfortunate almost end to his beginning. Justin Sick a little ambitious there on that first lap. We'll see what he can do here as Brandon Jones fighting for his life. For maybe a spot on the podium, the consolation podium. As Willie T moves into 5th place, there's like 6 cars battling for this P5 spot. That's going to separate a little bit because of the hiccup that Samuel Lawson had going into turn 1 and 2. So Willie T is going to be your last transferee here in this consolation race. As he is sitting nice and pretty at P5 in that number 63 Midwest Sim Sports Super Late model. Tyler Bickford with an overtake on Brandon Bolton. They are going back and forth, trying to get this position, jockeying for position, if you will. As these drivers are just exchanging lines and exchanging places as a result of it. James Starry runs purple with a 16.13 in that 741 machine. He has already carved out a 0.7 of a second lead over Justin Sick here. In that very nice looking number 2 Super Late model. A lot of things happening here for P3 as Willie T and Brandon Jones are just trying to outlap each other. Taking completely different lines, just consuming completely different spots on the racetrack. They're going to consolidate now. As Brandon Bolton is still holding it down strong, but for how long? He has got Tyler Bickford and James Murphy. James Murphy up 7 spots currently. He's got to make up 2 more in this final lap here. Coming up, we are white flag racing. James Murphy has a lot of real estate to make up if he wants to make this feature. But Brandon Bolton is going to get it done coming out of the final corner. It's going to be James Starry, Justin Sick, Willie T, Brandon Jones, and Brandon Bolton. With Will Bennett in P8 running a purple lap with a 16.017. As that is going to be it for the B mains, ladies and gentlemen. I will step away for a second and catch my breath, catch my thirst with a drink of water. But guys, you've seen it all night. Check out those sponsors, Willie T Performance, More Metalworks, Elite Sign and Graphics. I apologize, had a little bit of a brain fart there. Elite Sign and Graphics out of Zanesville, Ohio. Coast to Coast Sim Sports. shout out to all of these guys sponsoring the Dirt Revival Tour. Not just the mini-series, but also the big season here. Season 1 in the super late models. Guys, I'm going to step away before I miss the chance to. Don't go anywhere. We will be feature racing here on Arsenal TV in the Dirt Revival Tour shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back as we get ready to start our opening main event for the Dirt Revival Tour Season 1 here at virtual Volusia Speedway Park. I cannot explain to you guys how hype I am for this race here. We've seen everything culminate, all of the lore, all of the rivalries, all of the teaming, all of the racing, the hits, the hard work. Everything here in the Dirt Revival Tour mini-series. And as these drivers get ready to finish their warm-up, There's only one thing left to do. Ladies and gentlemen, 20 super late models. Only one winner here in the inaugural opening round of the Season 1 Dirt Revival Tour Series. Who will it be? I want to know who you're supporting down in the comments. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. As we get set here, Brandon Bolton in P20, Nate Wimhoff in P19 with Brandon Jones going to be in P18. P17 is going to be Tyson Banks, Willie T in P16, Brady Cornett in P15 with Justin Sick in P14. K-Dub, Kevin Walker in P13, James Starry P12, Colton Jordan P11, Dees Price P10, Zach Weisenfla, Kane Williams, Jesse Newsom, your defending champion P6, Scott Merrick, P5, Robbie Buchanan Jr., P4, Dylan Jones, P3, Mason Cassidy, P2, Hayden Tolleson, and your pole sitter for tonight's main event in the 62 super late model representing Coast to Coast, Corsair Jenkins. As these drivers get set to do battle, to go to war for everything, to stake their claim in the DRT season. Ladies and gentlemen, it's live. It's on Arsenal TV. It's at Volusia. It's the DRT. Carson Jenkins. The clone work happened to work out for him. He is going to have the button. He leads us up and away. Ladies and gentlemen, we are green. Here in the Dirt Revival Tour, Carson Jenkins with a strong start there. He's going to get out to a 4/10 of a second lead over the Big H, Hayden Tolleson. As we have Dylan Jones there, Scott Merrick also trying to make his place, trying to make his name known here in the lore, in the community. He runs purple. We've got a lot of racing left, but to know you have the fastest car on track early means a lot to the ego, means a lot to the pride. As we are yellow here, I'm not entirely sure what happened there. Kane Williams, who advanced to the feature on an absolute heist of the century, he has pitted in. He is back out on track. So not entirely sure what happened to the number 22 camp. Obviously something less than ideal, or else he wouldn't have had to go into the pits. So here we go as we get set here. For some more racing. The timing tower is going to do insanely weird things. I apologize about that. It will sort itself out here momentarily. As we see the two Carson Jenkins vehicles here towards the front. Jesse Newsom's going to have his work cut out for him in that P7 spot. Obviously, a lot of racing, almost the entire race to go here. But he is going to have to start moving up fast as we get a good look at him as Carson Jenkins takes the green flag. We go racing here again. That is the third Carson Jenkins car. I believe that is Colton Jordan. Yes, looking to make a move on him. But not if K-Dub has anything to say about that, as he is going to take the high side. He's going to overtake them all. He's working his way into P7, P6 now for the Vortex Sim Sports driver. As up towards the front, we have Dylan Jones looking to just expand this lead in any way possible. Robbie Buchanan Jr., who went out late, but still ended up qualifying P5 at the top of the show tonight. These conditions here might favor him as he is looking quick, as he runs the fastest lap out of everybody on the top 5 that lap. Currently the quickest out of those top 5, as that is going to not remain the case. That is Commentator's Curse, as he runs the slowest out of the top 5 there. As we see, oh no, I believe that is Hayden. No, that's not Hayden Tollison. I thought I saw somebody accidentally drop connection. As we have Carson Jenkins here, who has caught up to the leader, Dylan Jones. They're going to go to war here early. Lap number 10, they just took it. A little bit of contact between those two drivers. No harm, no foul. I was almost speechless because I thought maybe something was going to go down there. Dylan Jones, Carson Jenkins now going to try to get around on the outside. He is going to make that work. Maybe a little bit of a push from Robbie Buchanan there. As Dylan Jones just got left out to dry by Carson Jenkins, Robbie Buchanan, and James Starry. He is down into 4th place, and he is currently getting caught by K-Dub. So in the matter of 2 laps, Dylan Jones falls back and looks like almost a shell of what he once was. That once was being actually 1 minute ago. That's how quick things can change depending on the track here in dirt racing on the iRacing service. There's a reason it's the best, and Robbie Buchanan just running all over James Starry there. Unfortunate for him. Carson Jenkins in that number 62. Trying to make something happen. K-Dub already up 9 spots, but talk about up. James Starry, I didn't even catch it at first. He is up 10 positions into P2. A big name around the DRT, Colton Jordan, running in the far back. He is in P18. Unfortunate for him. If you guys were not aware, he was 3rd in our championship for the mini-series. He was the best of the rest when it came to that 2-headed horse race between Hayden Tollison and Jesse Newsom. Speaking of Jesse Newsom, he has made it up 2 spots in the P5. Now a part of that lead pack there, as they should be running into lap traffic shortly, as that will always play a crucial part in these dirt races here. But as for right now, Robbie Buchanan looking strong in the front. These drivers settling down into a nice groove. You can see it is all pretty much just one lane dominant here. If we go up to our DRT blimp, as we go down through this roster, we see a little bit of overtaking done as K-Dub just fluffs that corner. Jesse Newsom going to take advantage of that. But aside from that, it's all pretty much one line besides these 2 drivers here, Brady Cornett and Brendan Bolton. But as you see, when they try to take these difficult lines and these, you know, different ways of setting their car into the corner, it's really not bolting very well for them. So that one line, kind of the middle line, layer it up to the top on the corner exit, really just the most dominant part of the track right now. As you see James Starry, he's going to venture out, try to find grip elsewhere. Seems like maybe he is doing so, as him and Carson Jenkins have caught up to Robbie Buchanan in the span of one singular corner. But here comes Newsom, as he is looking like a nuisance. The Newsom Nuisance, that might be the new nickname. We'll see if we can make it stick. We'll try to get it trending on X. As Jesse Newsom looking to make his presence felt on Carson Jenkins here. Carson Jenkins just a little slow coming out of that last corner. As a result, going to slow both of those drivers down. As we are yellow, looks like Kane Williams and Colton Jordan got into something not entirely too sweet there. As we take a look at Colton Jordan here, the JR Setup Shop driver. Oh, he's going to smack that pit entry tire, and as a result, Kane Williams is going to be collected. That is more than likely going to be Colton Jordan's night over with, as not the greatest of performances from him here tonight. Unfortunate for the driver. As we try to get things back situated here, we are on lap 26, so almost halfway through this opening round race here. Once again, I want to thank all of our sponsors here tonight. Coast to Coast, Willie T Performance, Elite Signs and Graphics out of Zanesville, Ohio. All of those guys. More Metalworks, Welding, and Fab, obviously. I think More Metalworks, that was actually the first sponsor announced. Not like it's a, you know, not a race or anything. But just some cool little lore, fun facts in case the DRT happens to take over the world and you are asked about this at your local bar on any given Thursday. As the pace truck pulls off, Robbie Buchanan Jr. is going to have the button. He presses it early. As these drivers, Jesse Newsom trying to get his nose stuck into some trouble here. Behind that 62 of Carson Jenkins, he's going to look to make moves quick. As is James Starry, because he has an entire pack of DRT drivers hot on his heels. As I'm getting told in my earpiece that Colton Jordan is also coast to coast. He is a coast to coast driver, so not the best luck for the C2C driver here tonight. Maybe the cloning technology only works one way for the original. It's like Rick and Morty. The Prime Rick is better than all the other Ricks in the Citadel. As we take a look at Robbie Buchanan Jr. here in that 31 Super Late Model, he's going to be really slow heading into turn 3 and 4 there. Carson Jenkins looking to make his move on James Starry. He is going to try the slide. Nice little switchback from James Starry. He's actually going to lose 2 spots from that. Jesse Newsom is surely going to get this position here. Can he make it stick? No, he can't. As he's going to try again. No contact made somehow. These guys are absolutely pinning it to the cushion up here. These DRT drivers, as they're going to be Carson Jenkins having a little bit of a technical difficulty. He's going to fall straight in line like a good little soldier. Jesse Newsom keep trying to make things happen, but he has got Mason Cassidy in that number 17 super late model right behind him, trying to make some sort of a move. We'll hop on board with Mason Cassidy as we go helmet cam with Mason Cassidy. You can see his point of view. He's watching an absolute turf war going down in front of him. All three of those drivers jockeying for position. You could almost say they're chicken jockeying, as Robbie Buchanan is loving every single minute of this. He is going to stretch his lead to a full second now on James Story, a driver that, correct me if I'm wrong, but we have not seen in the DRT universe. I don't remember seeing him in any of the mini-series rounds. I could be wrong. I apologize. That is a lot of drivers to have to go through. But Robbie Buchanan, if this is his debut, showing up and absolutely showing out in a world that we thought was ran by this man, Jesse Newsom. We also thought it was ran by this man, Hayden Tollison, who is 7 spots down on the night. Into P9, that's going to be contact. That is a lot of contact. That is the 62. That is the actual 62 of Carson Jenkins. Oh no, we take a look at his car. He is running it to the pits. Oh no. That is a tire. That is the right front tire gone out of that 62 coast-to-coast machine. I'm going to go back and take a look at what just happened. As we get a close-up view, as we're going to see it, we're going to try to go into slow motion for you guys. Hopefully I got that timing right. Jesse Newsom, I believe this is turn 3 and 4, maybe just going to, he's going to wash up and he's going to clock the 62 of Carson Jenkins. That's going to send him straight into the wall. Collecting the 17, collecting the 63, that's Willie T. Oh no, and the 24, that's what that's what Zach Weisenflut, that's what he did. He was coughing when he got that rubber straight to the face as he was passing by. Unfortunate for all parties involved. As we head back up front, and I was gonna say, no, we still have Robbie Buchanan leading this race, as I'm sure Robbie Buchanan was wanting to check out there and just drive himself to a win. He's gonna have to pull the field once again here, as maybe this will be our last yellow of the night. These drivers will be taking 20 to go. Or sorry, I take that back, 21 to go next time by. Assuming the pace truck is in this lap, it looks like they are all bundling up. Robbie Buchanan in that number 31 super late model representing EJR. He is down and away. He likes to go early. I'm sure as the weeks go on, as it is the 24 of Brandon Bolton, he is going to slow Jesse Newsom down by throwing that slider opening lap. Robbie Buchanan here coming through. He is going to try to stretch this lead out. Once again, that is another big contact. We are yellow again. That is going to be Brandon Bolton and Kane Williams. Kane Williams again, unfortunately, caught up in the muck. See, I'm not entirely sure what happened. Looks like, the 24, the 22, the other 24. That looks like Brandon Bolton. So we will actually... I apologize. We'll go back and look at Brandon Bolton. That should give us a little better point of view on what happened there. As we're coming down the front stretch here, who's looking to pass Jesse Newsom, and Hayden Tolleson is unfortunately going to get collected in that. Just a big racing incident. I mean, that's 3 cars fighting for the same position there. The 24, I believe that is Zach Weisenflow, who just got into something as the 22, the other 22, because, you know, drivers can't just get different numbers. They all got to have the same exact number. As we'll line them up again. Robbie Buchanan Jr. Gonna try to get something started and hopefully keep it going. As the lights are out in the iRacing pace truck. That means we will be green next time by here in the Dirt Revival Tour. Here we go. Robbie Buchanan sends them away. And we are green again. Hopefully for the last time here in the opening round at Volusia. As Robbie Buchanan this time not able to extend his lead. Jesse Newsom and Hayden Tolleson, the two-headed monsters that ran the DRT miniseries, as we are yellow again. As my race control is in my earpiece saying Brandon Jones is the one for that one. We'll see him. You see him in the middle of your screen there, the number 15 as... Yeah, he just boofed that corner up completely. As, yeah, that is not how you take the corner, sir. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get all the water in me for these last 15 laps. You'd think after doing this for 4 times in the miniseries, my voice would be conditioned, but it sure is not. As we get ready here, I believe those lights are out on the pace truck. Nope, they are not. We will be going one more time around. As everybody gets bundled up here. As we stretch it deep into the night here at Volusia. We take a look at the temperature now, 69 degrees instead of 70. So just a little bit cooler air temperature here in Barberville. Discord link down there, guys. Unfortunately, the signups are closed. For Season 1, we hit our driver cap. However, if you join the Discord, you can stay up to date on all things DRT. Maybe get yourself enrolled into Season number 2. As Robbie Buchanan gonna go early again, and Jesse Newsom is on that like the Legion of Boom in Seattle. They are not letting him go anywhere anymore. Jesse Newsom going to try some bit of a slider here for the lead. He is not going to let that fly. They are 3 wide here with Hayden Tullison. Hayden Tullison going to back out, though. Probably a smart business decision. But he is going to have a run into the next corner. He's going to try to feed it on that bottom line. Going to try to make it tight, make it grip, make it drive. As Colton Jordan, who is up 7 spots, up to P4. Nate Wimhoff up 14 spots into P5. What an outstanding start for him. Can he finish, however? Jesse Newsom almost making contact, might have made contact with the 31 there. As a result, Hayden Tullison's going to take that position. So a big fight between these top 4 guys here. Hayden Tullison, Jesse Newsom, Robbie Buchanan, Colton Jordan. Hayden Tullison's going to get the spot on Jesse Newsom for now. They're just going to battle. They're going to say who has the better pace. They're not going to race each other. They're just going to drive their lines. Jesse Newsom with incredible runs onto the straightaway. Hayden Tullison cannot find that drive, and that bottom line has to slow his machine down a lot more than Jesse Newsom does. It allows for Jesse Newsom to get way more momentum coming down the stretch. As now Hayden Tullison has demoted into battling for that P3 spot instead of fighting for the P2 spot. As Jesse Newsom is trying to track down your current leader, Robbie Buchanan. Jesse Newsom, part of Coast to Coast Sim Sports. It seems like Jesse Newsom is synonymous with everything DRT related. He won 3 out of 4 races on the mini-series. He won the championship. Can he continue his championship form? It was part of our key takeaways at the top of the broadcast. If you're a betting man and you bet on Jesse Newsom, your money is never going to waste, as he is going to try the slide. He gets it done. Robbie Buchanan just buries his nose in the back of Jesse Newsom. They're going to have lap traffic here. I'm not sure who that is. That is the 22, I believe, of... Is that Dylan Jones? No, that's not Dylan Jones. It's the other 22, but who cares? That lap car, that back marker, unfortunately, spelling bad news for Robbie Buchanan. He is going to have to try to fight again, but Jesse Newsom running 900ths faster that lap. We're coming to 5 to go here at the line. He's on the back bumper. Robbie Buchanan's going to try the slide. He can't get it to stick. Jesse Newsom is going to have the momentum coming out of turn 1 and 2. Here we go, 3 and 4. Nothing short of a contest here going into 1 and 2 for Robbie Buchanan. He's going to have network issues. They couldn't have come at a worse time. That allows Jesse Newsom to extend this lead just a little bit more. Robbie Buchanan going to try again. He can't get it. He needs to get a little closer on these straights. He needs to work his way up to Jesse Newsom and then try to take it on the final lap. He can't just keep going for bad move after bad move here every corner. It's just going to lose him time. As he is not going to heed my advice. He's going to do it again. He's going to hit the wall. And ladies and gentlemen, that might have just sealed it. Jesse Newsom is taking the white flag. We move ourselves to the other podium positions as Robbie Buchanan, Colton Jordan, and Hayden Tullison, all 3 fighting for 2 podium spots. Who's going to miss out on it? Jesse Newsom is your winner, and it's going to be Robbie Buchanan. Colton Jordan, Hayden Tullison misses out on the podium in the inaugural DRT opener here at Volusia. Wow, so that is going to be your top 3, like I said, of Jesse Newsom, Robbie Buchanan, and Colton Jordan. Wow, as we're going to try... We're going to try to get those top 3 finishers into the booth for a little bit of an interview before we let you guys go. What an incredible race all the way around for these drivers. You see the fireworks popping off in the back. As just an incredible race here at Volusia. If I could please have the podium sitters for tonight's race into the broadcast waiting room, I'd love to be able to get an interview from these 3 guys. Colton Jordan. We're going to try to interview him first. Here he is. Colton Jordan, Mac up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, that is going to be 8 spots made up for you in that feature race. You had some turmoil in the beginning. Tell me how you tell me the frame of mind that you had going into that, and how did you climb back?
Well, you know, this is one of my worst tracks in my opinion. I don't really do great here. We had a strategy at the beginning of the race, just save tire as long as possible, and I messed up big time. I went to go run the cut down line, like middle to cut, and hit the tires, and wrecked my stuff, and then we got a fast repair, and we were just rolling after that because we saved so much.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like at the end of the race, you were absolutely cooking it. So tell me, in that C2C camp, are there high hopes with Jesse Newsom coming off the mini-series championship? Do you guys think that maybe one of your drivers, maybe Jesse, can claim that series or that season championship here in the 10-week big season?
Oh yeah, I believe every single one of these guys can have a chance to win it.
Well, that is good to hear. Colton Jordan, you have done it. You are on the bronze spot in the podium here tonight. Who do you have to thank for the performance here tonight?
I'd like to thank Jonathan Byram, Justin Byram, Danny Miles, Jesse Newsom, Carson Jenkins, Diesel Jones, Big Red Tire Solutions. And really, my mom, my dad, you for putting this broadcast up, everybody who makes this league possible, and yeah.
Well, we appreciate you coming out, Colton. I appreciate the good drive from him, and hopefully we'll see you next week.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, take it easy, man. And ladies and gentlemen, now in the booth, your second place finisher, Robbie Buchanan Jr. in that 31 Super Late model. Tell me, man, is this your debut in the Dirt Revival Tour, or did you have a race or two in the mini-series?
No, this is my debut.
That is what I thought. I noticed, I said it in the broadcast that this might be your debut, and what a debut for you coming home in P2. How did it feel out there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm usually not good here at all, so I kind of expect it to suck, to be honest, but I qualified good with like the group qualifying. That was kind of fun, but I did go out kind of late, so I was like kind of screwed, but got lucky with the qualifying lap, won the heat, and then I just had too much air in the feature, and Jesse he just rolled by me with better air.
Yeah, and I mean, these guys, a lot of these guys know how to race each other because of the DRT mini-series, but you coming in here for your debut, do you think that maybe had a little bit of an advantage because maybe these guys don't know you as well as they know the other drivers?
Yeah, I mean, this is a really good series. I think it's fun. I think it's gonna be fun. I like the how they have like a couple admins instead of just one, so you can kind of watch all over the track. But yeah, I mean, I race with these guys a lot in officials and any other like league races. But yeah, it's super fun. I think it's gonna be a fun season.
Yeah, well, hey man, the floor is yours, man. You come home P2 in that silver spot. Who do you want to thank for tonight's performance?
I just want to thank Majula C, all the guys over there, and CFM, um, Leo's Roof and Surface, all the guys who just helped, and you for putting this thing on, and congrats to Jesse.
Yes, sir, I appreciate that, and hopefully many more interviews with you to come. That is your second place finisher, Robbie Buchanan Jr. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
What's your first from?
As we have a little bit of technical difficulties there, I apologize, but your mini series champion coming out, keeping that championship form here tonight, Jesse Newsome. How you doing, man?
What's up? It's going good.
Well, you know, it seems like we just kind of have these conversations every Tuesday night. I feel like I've asked you every question there is to ask, but hey, Volusia, we haven't seen it before in the DRT, so coming here tonight with this grid, with this roster of drivers, how did you feel going into it, and did you have a lot of confidence?
I knew I was going to be like halfway decent. I definitely did not think I had the speed to win it at all. Volusia isn't my best track, and I also put a setup together within like 3 minutes of the race. So I was expecting to run around like maybe 5th, 6th, 4th, you know what I mean? I was not expecting to be able to be fast enough to pass Robbie there at the end. It definitely shocked me. I don't know if it was a little bit of luck or what, but it definitely helped.
Now, the other monster in this series here, Hayden Tollison, you went to war with him in the mini-series. Now seeing him finish P4 instead of maybe on one of these podium spots, does that ease your mind just a tad as we get ready to head into, you know, the rest of this season?
I mean, I'm not going to lay off on it right now, obviously, because it's week 1. I mean, Hayden's good enough to win literally the rest of the races for this season. Like, I'm not going to doubt him. Hayden's really fast. But definitely puts me at a good advantage going into week 2. Yeah, Hayden's really fast. I'm not going to doubt him. He can get it done any night.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Watching you two go to battle in that heat was an absolutely electric thing to see. But the floor is yours, Jesse. Who do you want to thank for the win here tonight?
Everybody at Coast to Coast, want to thank you for broadcasting it again. I'm sure we're going to have fun. And I want to thank CFM, Majula C Speed Shop, Justin Byram, Danny Miles. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah, well, I'm going to let you pop the champagne and celebrate tonight. That is your race winner here in the inaugural race here in the season 1. Round number 1 of the Dirt Revival Tour, Jesse Newsome.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap things up here tonight. What an amazing inaugural show here tonight. As that is Heat 6 results. We don't care about that. That is the lost heat. We're going to look back on this in 10 years. We're going to wonder, where did that heat number 6 go in the opening round of the 2025 DRT season? But no, here we go, guys. Your main event finishers here tonight. It is going to start off, unfortunately, with Brandon Bolton, and then Justin Sick, and then going up, we have Brandon Jones, Kane Williams, James Starry, Dees Price, Zach Weisenflow, Willie T, part of Willie T Performance. Check them out. Scott Merrick, K-Dub in P11, Carson Jenkins, your pole sitter, just barely cracking the top 10. Brady Cornett, Tyson Banks, Nate Wimhoff, Dylan Jones, Mason Cassidy is going to start your top 5. The Big H, Hayden Tollison, is going to finish P4. Colton Jordan in P3. Robbie Buchanan Jr. in his DRT debut, finishing in that silver spot, P2. Jesse Newsome is going to walk home your winner here tonight. Well, from everybody here in the DRT family and everybody, actually just myself here at Arsenal TV, I want to thank you guys for joining me again for another fun-filled week of racing here in the Dirt Revival Tour. Make sure you tune back in next Tuesday, as I'm going to try to pull up this schedule, potentially, as, yes, we have it. So next week is going to be at I-55 Speedway. We're going for 60 laps. That is going to start once again at 8:30 EST. That is 5:30 if you're over there on the West Coast. If you're in Europe, do the conversions, man, because I don't know that stuff. But from everybody at DRT, from everybody at Arsenal TV, I appreciate you guys for coming in and watching this top-tier elite dirt racing. They call it the Dirt Revival Tour for a reason. We are back and we are bringing the heat. Ladies and gentlemen, have a fantastic night.